or something like that?
Yeah, we went through. I think I went through 5 engines to find a good one for his car.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
I think when we talked, you were in the third one.
Yep. And so the thing is, use engines. I mean, if you go somewhere that actually cares and gives a damn, I mean, they'll inspect it before they just drop it in there. I could have put the first one in there, but he would have had to pay me twice. And so it wasn't worth it. It was not worth, trying to get an extra whatever it is just to get a quick buck.
Where do you source them? Is it like from junkyards or something?
No, I never use junkyards. The reason why is junkyards, you only get a 30-day warranty. Sometimes you may get 60. But when I source them, I'll get at least 6 months, sometimes a year warranty on them. And when I can find one, a good one, when I get a year warranty, they'll warranty both my labor and the part.
Well, that helps you out too, because that means you can extend that on to your customers.
Absolutely. So that's why I take my time and make sure that, we find an engine that's actually worth putting in, because they'll warranty it as long as, we get it with a good warranty. But I actually helped him sell that car. He sold that car.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So he was wanting to sell it because when I told him I needed an engine, the next day he went out and bought a brand new Chrysler. So I told him, I said, Dennis, well, this car is worth, it's worth about $7-8 grand. He thought it was only worth about $2 or $3 grand. And then he looked online and saw that in this area there were like 20 or 30 of them for sale for like 12 and 13 grand. Then he bit the bullet and just said, let's do it.
What kind of car was it?
He had a 2013 Ford Fusion.
Worth 12 grand?
Mm-hmm. Well, he had the full edition with the navigation, the chrome package, and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, he has a new role with this company, and he's traveling a lot more. He's driving a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that was in his mind. He needs this reliable car.
Right. Yeah, I told him, I said, you do your research, and you let me know if you want to do it or not. So he looked around and saw some that were for sale for way more. I'm sorry, not Fusion. 2013 Ford Taurus. Yeah, the Taurus.
Still, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the thing, when you look at cars for sale, the value, you always want to do it by your area, because you can look at in actual Cincinnati, Hamilton County, and they may only be for sale for $7-8 grand. But when Chester and Mason, they were up there for 10, 11, and some 12 grand.
Wow.
Yeah, so he put his up for sale, and I had someone reach out to me and ask if he lower the price a little bit, and he sold it the next day.
Wow.
Hey, Ivan, before we start, do you have a time on Friday that works for you to do a business interview?
Yes. What time works for you?
I think I sent you back a couple times. We can do anytime between 12:30 and 2 would work if you've got 30 minutes between there.
Okay, let's do Friday. Let's do 1 o'clock.
1 p.m. All right. I'll send you a calendar invite and all the details and everything, and that way we got it locked in.
Okay, perfect.
Hello, Risa.
Hey, Mike.
How's it
How are
going?
you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Beautiful day out there.
Sure is.
Now it is.
It's nice to look at.
Yeah, if you didn't see the snow out there, do you guys have snow down Cincinnati area?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure how much you guys got versus what we had gotten up here.
We got about maybe an inch total over a couple of days.
The schools here are have been closed Monday and Tuesday. But I tell you, with virtual learning, shoot, there's no such thing as a snow day anymore.
No.
Kids actually get to go out and play, right?
Yeah. Hi, Mandy.
Oh,
Hey, Mandy.
hi.
Yeah. What's coming is what scares me, that polar vortex that they've been talking about. That's cold.
When is that due?
Friday, Saturday, I think it's supposed to be with wind chill. I think it's supposed to be negative.
Oh, geez.
I don't know. I'm going to have to check. I might have been hallucinating, but for some reason I thought something above freezing was in the forecast for us.
Well, the
Oh.
temperature is, but the wind chill is going to be below.
Yeah, what I checked, I think the lowest for us is Sunday, and it's like 8 degrees.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my goodness. We have one day of 40, and
Yeah.
then it goes downhill fast.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what you're looking at is the temp. What you need, what they are talking about is the wind chill being so cold.
Yeah, and it's for an extended period of days too, which
Let's
is
make sure we stay inside.
Yeah, for the Super Bowl Sunday, right? Huh?
See,
is that this weekend?
It is
Yes.
Sunday. Yes.
Only a woman would ask that question, right?
you big fan, you?
As a marketing person, I thought you would tune in for the commercials.
You know, you're talking to the woman who never hardly watches TV, so it's got to be something good in it for me to sit down and watch a football game.
I hear you. I hear you.
Well-
It's almost. It's probably. Do you guys have 12:15?
Yeah, 12:16. So we can
Yeah.
talk.
Let's go ahead and get started. And if folks join us, Rick, how are you? Welcome.
Pretty good. Thanks.
Good. Welcome.
Eric,
Hi,
All
everybody.
right, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start so I don't forget. Last week I offered up a nice insulated water bottle to the person that had some creative approach to their homework. Mandy, I'll be sending you this this water bottle. We'll figure out how to get it to you so that you have it, but it's on the way. Mandy, I appreciate you turning in your homework, and Reese, I know you turned yours in, and so we appreciate you guys going the extra effort to do the work. So actually, I'm going to send one of these to both of you since you guys were the ones that turned in the homework. So thank you. So let me get that out of the way so it doesn't block us. So this is our 4th session out of 4. So this is our last session. And what we want to talk about today is really wrap up the 5 ways, do some mindset stuff, and then really wrap up the session with what does all this mean, and what do I do with it, and where do I take it, and most importantly, how do I make it actionable? Okay, so what I'd like to kick off with is a mindset piece of discussion, like we have done each of the 3 prior sessions. The mindset one that I'm going to work on today is a very, very interesting one, and it's one that really catches people once you get a chance to really understand it. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. So the equal sign, you know me, I like to work backwards, right? So something equals have. So we've talked about, and you guys undoubtedly have, dreams and goals and aspirations that you want. So that's, what you want to have, whether it's, a growing, thriving business that works without you, whatever that is, that is the have, that's the equal. So we know, for the most part, we know the steps that have to be taken. So we know what you have to do, big picture, and sometimes down to the minutia picture, what you have to do in order to have. But a piece that's often forgot is the B. Okay, and a coach is really all about the B. So who is it that you need to be in order to do what you need to do in order to have what you want to have? And you say, okay, Mike, that's great formula. Talk to me. Say more. So if you don't change and you don't continuously develop and get better, and if you don't read, and if you don't continually enrich and challenge your thought process and your mindset, you're going to stay status quo with your B. There's no way, if you stay status quo with your B, that you can have what you want to have. Okay? So you think about, okay, so I'm going to make this up hypothetically. I want to be a millionaire. Or excuse me, I want to have $1 million net worth. Okay, I know generally what some of the do steps are there, but I can't continue to be the same person I am today. I've got to evolve my be and evolve the way I think and evolve who I hang around with and all of those different things. I got to completely change my be. Does that mean you can't be friends with your existing friends? No. It just means you want to surround yourself by people that are going to challenge you and challenge you in the right way, of course, hold you accountable to what you want to get done, those kind of things. So be times do equals have. All about this session is about growing your business, because otherwise you wouldn't have signed up for it, right? So you want to grow your business. Who do you need to be in order to be the owner or the leader of the business that grows? So you've got to change your B. And you guys are all working on your Bs simply by being in this training. Okay. So hopefully that is clear. So this is a real valuable formula as you continuously remind yourself that I don't want status quo and I don't want to go backwards. So I need to continue to evolve my B, whatever that looks like, however that is, continually to challenge yourself, have people hold you accountable, and continue to evolve your B. Okay? Before we get off of this, does this make sense? Mandy, this okay? I see some head nods. Marvin, I can't see your head. Rick,
Yeah,
I can see it. Rick, does this make sense? Make sense,
Yeah,
guys?
makes sense.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, guys, this isn't rocket science, right? But what it is all of the mindset stuff that we've worked towards is lasering your focus so that as you commit and we give you tools to grow, that you are laser focused, and that remember those 80% of those thoughts that you have each day that are negative, that tell you you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other, you can't. In my case, the example I gave, I can't be a millionaire. My God, that's terrible. There's no way I can do that. Can't, won't, shouldn't. You got to overcome those 80% of negative thoughts. And you got to open your mind to what are those things that help me open and blossom and go do what I know I can do. And some of it's visualization. There's a number of different things, but in the end, it's all about your mindset. Yes, you can. Yes, I can. There is no such thing as can't. Yes, there's things going against us, but does that mean we can't? No. So that's the essence of it. I think, G, do I turn it over to you? Yep.
Yes, you do.
That's the fourth mindset. I'm going to turn it over to Gonzalo for a little bit, and then I'll come back in a little bit.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike. And let me just say this again. Mike has been working on the first few minutes in each of the four sessions on mindset, because it is very, very important, guys. If we don't have the mindset in the right place, it's going to be really, really hard to get to those goals, to those objectives that you have. Mike, very good job. His background is primarily strategy, but he does a great job with mindsetting, which is critical. Thank you, Mike. So for today, we are going to talk. We're still in the 5 ways, and if you guys go back to week 1, you recall that I showed you on the big picture of methodology where the growth fit, right? That second step, remember we went over 6 steps: mastery, marketing, systems. So marketing is when we focus on growth, right? We've been talking about the formula, which again, it's fairly simple, but it's very powerful. So we spent previous weeks talking about getting those leads, those prospects, converting them. That will give us the customers, right? Once we have the customers, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that they come back, that they come back often. Depending on your industry, this number could be low if you're very specialized, or it could be high if you're more retail-like offering, right? So we want to increase the number of transactions. We talked about that last week. I want to focus right now on average sales dollar, right? Once we have them coming, we want them to come often, and we want them to spend more, right? Every time spend more. Remember, we talked about that 10% change, what it can do at the end, right? We were talking about 46% increased revenue, 61% in profit, and that was just with the 10%. What if we could do more, right? So I'm going to give you a couple tips on average sales dollar. Let me start with a question. I see most of you. How many of you have had in your company, show of hands, a price increase in the last 2 years? 2 of you, nice. Most times you see none or one hand. That is one of the keys for increasing this average dollar sale. Most times us, the owners, are the most scared, afraid person of raising prices because we think we're going to lose everybody. It doesn't necessarily work that way, right? Especially when you look, there's a lot of people that have not raised prices in 3-4 years. And to begin with, if you guys have good memory, I told you a few weeks ago that I have a client that I started working with, and unfortunately their cost structure was wrong and they were losing money every time they were providing their service. So the structure with the cost was wrong, and their price, they really gave a very cheap price in order to close the deal. Add years to that, and that's why they're in big trouble, right? So increasing prices sometimes is not as bad as you think it's going to be, okay? So think of that. Second one, you can do some cross-selling. You can offer some complementary products. An easy example, but it will illustrate my point. If you're selling paint, if somebody's going to buy paint from you, that is the time. Do you have tape? Do you have brushes? Do you have plastic? All the different things that you can sell with that. Apply that to your products, right? If somebody comes here for X, can I offer Y and Z with that, right? Let's do that cross-selling. That's why we mentioned before, at some points, scripts are good because if they're coming for this, very likely they're going to need X, Y, Z, right? Now, think of this. You want fries with that. Do you know that about 30% of people that they ask that at McDonald's, they actually go for the fries? About 30%. That helps that average dollar sale increase, right? Now, I'm going to tell you another one. I left this one for the end because we can spend some time here. And this one has to do with average dollar sale, but it also has to do with other parts of your business. Are you guys familiar with the Pareto principle? Nope. All right. So the Pareto principle says that 80% of the outcomes are the result of about 20% of the costs, right? So basically, is the 20-80 rule, which is not necessarily written on stone that it has to be 20 and 80, but 20% of the costs provide about 80% of the results. So let's look at it in terms of customers and sales. About 20% of your customers are going to generate about 80% of your revenue, right? And it's not always 20-80, it could be 25-80, it could be 30-70, but you get my point. I have used this a lot through my career, and it works like a charm, right? And again, it may not work for every industry, but for the majority, it does. About 20% generate 80. So let's put that in these terms. Let's say you have 100 clients. And let's say you have about $1 million in sales a year, okay? According to this principle, it pretty much means that about 20 clients are generating $800,000. Why is this powerful? We need to go to clients A, B, C, and D. You have to categorize your customers, A, B, C, and D. A are pretty much this 2080. Those are the dream clients that you have. Those are the guys that buy often, that are consistent in what they buy. They actually make it easier for you to plan production or inventory for them. They pay on time, right? They're the ideal child, right? That A client is awesome. Then you have your B customers. They're very good. Maybe they're not as big as your A's, so they don't buy as often, but they are good. They buy often, they refer you, they pay on time. These are great. Then you go to C. C's, maybe not as big, occasional issues, but not horrible, but you start spending more time with them, okay? Those are your C clients. And let me put this in perspective. A lot of times, just like the Pareto rule, these are more like the A's. This is about 20%, right? Between these two, it is not crazy to have between 15 and 20% more. So in summary, what this tells you is that between your A, B, and C clients, you have about 35%, in this case, about 35 clients that are going to give you about 90% of your sales. Okay? So I think you know where I'm going. About 35 clients or 35% are going to give you close to 90%, which means your D customers are going to be about 65 that are going to generate 10% of your revenue. That D client, that 65%, that is the client that you're spending a lot of time with, okay? A lot of time that really should be more designed for your A's and your B's, okay? It doesn't mean you don't appreciate the sale, but once you start looking at the time that I spent, do I need to hire more people because they are a handful and I need to be servicing them. These are the guys that don't miss a chance to try to get an extra discount. Warranty, I want this. They don't pay on time if your business is with terms. Once you start looking at that 10%, in this case, 100,000, let's say your margin for all of these guys is 30%. Once you start looking at them not paying on time, the warranties that you need with them, the time that you dedicate, and possibly even more people, that 30% is way less than that. So my point here is you need to evaluate your D clients. And maybe there's a point of keeping them, but maybe you need to change the terms. Maybe the price needs to go up, which brings us back to average sales dollar, right? You're a valuable client to us, but prices are changing. This is the price. These are the terms. And depending on your business and your industry, maybe there's a competitor that you can sell that book of business to. Maybe it makes a lot of sense for somebody else. Maybe it did for you at some point, but it doesn't always make sense, right? I met the other day a business owner that told me they're well established. They've been in business 15 to 20 years. He told me every year they do a review and they do that with their D clients. It's obviously not a long list every year because they've been doing it. They've been cleaning it up, but it really helps you with your margin, which Mike's going to talk about in a second. But again, stressing the point of increasing the dollar sale. Okay? Any questions or comments on that? No? All right. So I'm going to send it back to Mike so he can talk about the profit margin. Mike.
Thank you, Gonzalo. Can you leave that, your slide up? I'm going to talk about profit margin here in a moment, but what I wanted to ask, and I'm going to ask you each to unmute and give me an answer. Are you aware of a D customer that Gonzalo just described, that if you spent some of that time, if you chalked off some of that time you're spending with them and put it on an A or a B, you would get more sales? Are you aware of a customer? Does somebody come immediately to mind? I know, it's real easy because we're spending a lot of time with those folks. Mandy, somebody come to mind for you?
Yeah, we have one customer in particular that constantly requests quotes that take a lot of extensive time to prepare. We get very little business, and we do get business. The amount we make is very marginal compared to our other customers. I've actually started to decline the quote process for them. It's just really not worth the time at this point. I usually say we're just at capacity right now, so it leaves the door open for future, but I'm not really interested right now in working with them so much.
Well, good for you. Good for you. That's a great example, Mandy. Let's see, Sean, can you think of a client that just calls and calls and calls and calls and you're quote, and you spend a disproportionate amount of time with? Okay, maybe he's stepped away. How about you, Rick?
Yeah, I usually get one every year. I try to identify them before they become a client, and usually I will like charge them triple so that if they do hire me, it's gonna be worth it. Or I just won't have them as a client at all generally. But it doesn't always work out. I had one slip through the cracks this year. It got me real good.
Yeah, I understand. It becomes an art to identify those people early on. Risa, how about you? Can you think of a client or two that are D's?
I do. A lot of it is after the initial sale. And then I'm avoiding getting a chargeback, if you will. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Marvin, how about you in the mortgage business?
I want to echo what Risa just said. It's usually a current client. Then they see a minute tick down in a rate. They want to ask for, a new quote, et cetera, over and over again, every time it fluctuates.
Yep, that's good. Ivan, I know you're juggling a couple balls right now, but does anything come to mind for you?
Yeah, repeat it for me one more time. Sorry, repeat it for me one more time.
No, it's okay. Those clients that are D clients, meaning they bring a smaller portion of your revenue and your profit, but you spend a disproportionate amount of time with.
Oh, absolutely. And I look at them as honestly as problem clients. Those are the ones that, to me, that we do something small that honestly didn't make us any money. We didn't make money off of it, but they come back over and over. Typically because they chose an aftermarket part or something like that. And that's usually how it goes for me. I've got one that I'm dealing with right now with that issue where the customer bought the part and we advised against it, and then they had a leak from it. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, the reason I wanted to have all of you give your examples is because that's a great transition into profit margin. Think about the incremental profit you'd be able to make if you took all that time you're spending. While I think Gonzalo showed a number of 10% of your sales. By the time you add all the labor and all the quoting and requoting, you're probably losing profit on those folks. Think about if you reapplied that time to your A customers and your ability to sell more and do more with your A customers, the impact that would have on your profit margin. Again, profit margin, the smallest changes can have the biggest impacts. And a lot of people say, hey, I need to go to my leads first. I need to get more customers first. But the reality is, are there quick, low-hanging fruit things that you can do that's going to increase your profit? Okay, let me give a couple examples. We were working with a client, and what they did was they offered to their employees, a medium-sized company, they offered to their employees a financial incentive. I think it was $1,000 if they could make recommendation on something that would lower their cost, thus increasing their profit by 1%. And people say, well, 1%, why'd you just do 1%? Well, if you start thinking about how 1% of your sale that eventually drops down to profit, what that can be, For most of us, that's tens of thousands of dollars. And, you know, I know some of you are solopreneurs, but if you can think about the fact that that small of an impact by one employee, where is it that in most companies where the people know the changes that need to be made, they're just probably hesitant to suggest them? The people that are in the organization, hands-on, that do the work every day, they know the changes that need to be made. Oftentimes management doesn't know because they're not, you know, in the detail every day. So offering some kind of a incentive to your team to help you identify a 1% increase or 1% or 1% reduction in your expenses is another good way as well. I'm glad Sean is on the line because I want to ask him about something here momentarily. A lot of people, Gonzalo mentioned price increases and how people are very hesitant to do a price increase because they think, oh my God, my customers are never going to pay the incremental price increase. What we find is people are. The other side of that equation, and I don't have the slide with me, but there's a slide that shows you the impact to your profit by increasing price and discounting. It's amazing the impact discounting has on your business. And most people say, well, I need to discount in order to drive demand. Well, is that truly the case? Or is there other ways besides discounting? Do you need to discount 25% or can you discount 3%? You see where I'm headed with that is profit margin is a lot of times volume buttons that you turn on and turn off and try to find the right mix that's going to increase your profit. Sean, if you're able to share with us some thoughts. I know you do a great job with Facebook advertising, but I also know what drives your business is discounting. Talk to us about your rationale and thought process behind discounting and how it works for you.
Well, the ad that I just put out, that was actually my first one that I did for discounting. And I mean, it's already landed me 4 contracts. The second day that I had it out there. Normally I would have to kind of scramble and make different posts or whatever to get 4 contracts. But, you know, within 2 days I had 4 contracts and now I'm closing on 3 more before the end of the day is over with. So, I mean, it's definitely helped me close on customers who, you know, I didn't think I would close on. Yes, it's credit. I didn't think I would close on in a short amount of time. So it kind of helped out.
What percentage did you discount, Sean?
Well, my prices went up already. So, you know, I kind of discounted it kind of back to like the original price, if not. So, I mean, each bathroom is different. You know, I had some of them that were going for $10,000, some of them that were going for $6,500. So each of them, you know, is a different price. It depends on whatever they want and whatever they have.
Yeah. The old Kohl's method of discounting, doesn't it seem like Kohl's is always offering a discount? So they mark up the price to mark it down and they get to the same place. I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying here is most people will discount just quickly. You know, Sean does it for a very strategic reason, but the question I would have is, do you need to discount that much? And can you test a 10% discount? I'm making these numbers up. A 10% discount versus 20, and can you pull the same lever by doing that? And did the pictures that you put on your Facebook post drive the incremental volume versus the discount, or what combination? My point is, for each of our businesses, I think it's automatically assumed that we just have to give that discount again. What I'm saying to you is if you want to find a quick way to drop profit, to increase profit and drop it to the bottom, you know, slow down your discounting, alter your discounting, or reduce your discounting if you think you must discount. Okay. The other piece of this is let me back up. How many of you guys offer discounts to your clients on a, you know, whether it's a holiday basis or whether it's a program? How many offer discounts as a promotion to your products? Just show of hands. Mandy, no discounts. Marvin, you do. Rick, no discounts. Risa, no discounts. Ivan, I'm not sure if you do or not. And then of course, Sean, they do.
Yeah, we
Good.
do.
You do as well. Again, it's a way to, it's taking money right out of the profit margin and profit. Another piece that I would, let me back step for a minute. We assume as business owners that we can't increase the price and we can't reduce the discount. Why don't we go ask our customers? Because sometimes those are very dangerous assumptions that have a real negative impact on your ability to grow. Okay. The last piece of this is your payment terms. Okay. How many of you offer 30-day payment terms? 2% discount, net 30. Anybody? No. 2% discount or a discount, net 10. Anybody? Wow, you guys are pay upon service people, right? Honestly, I would encourage you. It sounds like you guys are mostly there. I couldn't tell everybody, but do you really need to offer a early payment discount? Again, you have to assess and test with your customer base, where the sweet spot is. But I would guess people are giving away a percentage or 2 points of margin if you offer a prepayment discount. Okay. The last one, and this is one that is growing in popularity, but there's still hesitation. How many of you set up an arrangement with your clients to routinely go out and draw from their business account, whatever your fee is? Say you're a service fee-based business. I mean, do you transact electronically or do you still do check? Mandy, you do check or electronic?
We do both. It depends on customer preference.
You do credit card too?
No, we do not do credit card.
Good.
Either
There's fees there.
Right, electronic transfer, or check.
Okay, good. Electronic transfer. If you can get most, if not everybody there, and I think most everybody is very warm to that subject matter now. If you can get people there, man, it's worth it'll be profit that drops to your bottom line. Okay, so just wrapping up the 5 ways, Gonzalo's going to go back through it, but the last of the 5 ways is your profit margin. And then I'll come back here momentarily and wrap everything up after Gonzalo does a recap of the 5 ways. I will also tell you, you guys have gotten to experience Gonzalo through the course of these 4 sessions. Gonzalo has great impact with his clients. He's been able to do some wonderful things with some of his clients as far as improving customer counts, revenue, and even profitability. So he's really, really effective at coaching and what he does. So Gonzalo, why don't you if you could come back and do a recap of the 5 ways for us.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for that. So yes, we're at the very end of it. So there's a couple of things that I want to say about the 5 ways. We've been hitting this hard over the last 3 weeks. I am positive that by now you understand why we said that customers' revenue and profit, although important, that should not really be our focus because they're outcomes, right? The other 5 items are the ones that we can affect, right? So one thing that I want to tell you about these 5 big components here is, 1, we need to know our numbers. You need to know where you are. If we don't know what our current state is, how do we know if we improve, right? So we need to learn our numbers. We need to know our numbers. The other big point of this is, and this is what we do when we work with customers such as yourself, business owners. Once we identify those numbers, we work on a plan. Where is it that you want to be? What is your objective, right? You're here, your objective calls for these numbers. Once we know that and that gap, then we start working on the strategies on each one of these so we can get to those numbers, right? So where are we today? Where is it that we want to be? Then we can actually develop a plan and help you with that. As Mike was talking right now about profit margins as the last of the 5 key points here under marketing, One thing that I wanted to share with you is, as a matter of fact, and remember, everything is for the majority. There's always exceptions to the rule. But in general, out of these 5, the one that should be an immediate focus is the one that Mike just closed with, the profit margins. And I go back to the example that I mentioned today and I gave you a couple of weeks ago. Remember the client that I told you is in the service industry, and because of bad cost structure, they were losing money with every service they provided? That is one of the reasons why this one is first. You need to check your profit. If they would have done that way back when the problem started some years ago on your profit, they would have known right away they were losing money, right? And fix it. So this is a very good place to start, okay? And I'm gonna give you which one is the second in priority. This should be 1, conversion rate. Like Mike just mentioned a couple minutes ago, a lot of people are, I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads. Sometimes the problem is not so much the leads, but is the conversion, right? On the ones that we do get, how can we close more of them? Okay, so I'll leave you with that. Profit margins, conversion rate, 2 key steps in that order on your 5 ways. But again, before that, where are we? Where do we want to go? And the key item there, and you heard us say this also, Mike and myself, over the last 4 weeks now, test and measure, right? We want to measure where we are and we want to test some things, right? We don't want to go full blown and put a lot of money in a strategy that we don't know if it's going to work or not. Let's do it at a smaller scale. Let's test it. Let's measure it. Then we decide, do we go full blown or not? Okay? So that is it for the 5 ways. Before I turn it back to Mike, any questions or comments from any of you? All right. Then Michael, I'll send it back to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Gonzalo. So as we think about wrapping up and the time you spent with us the last 4 weeks, I want to offer you one final, I hate to use the word homework, but I'll call it challenge. Gonzalo and I are going to reach out to each of you over the next couple days, and it's very simple. Here's what I want you to be prepared to answer. What are 3 key aha moments that you got from the four sessions? What are those 3 key things that when you told us what your top 3 challenges were, there's 3 things that you may be able to merge together that you can take away from this session, merge against your challenges and make your business better. So what are those 3 key, call it what you will, key takeaways? In Action Coach, they call it BFO, blinding flashes of the obvious. I just like to call it aha moments. So G and I will be calling you, looking for what your 3 are. So let's recap where we've been, where we're going. I will tell you, and Gonzalo said it, but I'm going to say it probably in a little bit different words. The way you make this work is personalizing it and making it impactful for your business. Okay, we talked about mindset, and then we talked about so mindset wise, and I want to drop back to a slide because it's really appropriate here. So we went over 4 mindset principles. First was formula for change. Okay. And it really starts with how dissatisfied are you? You have to be dissatisfied in order to drive change. Secondly, then we talked about the formula for success. And really, this is the one I really want to implant in your mind. You all have dreams, okay? You all have some goals, whether you wrote them down or not. You all started the process or continued the process to learn. You now need to build plans and take action. The worst thing that could happen is we sit here and go through and you've invested 4 hours worth of your incredibly valuable time, and you just table it and say, oh, that was great. Now let me move on to my real world problems. What we really wanted to target is your real world problems and how can we make an impact. But you've got to be willing to change, and you've got to be willing to take action. Thirdly, the third mindset was clarity. Seeking to find clarity. Again, you hear that word action. Excuse me. Clarity times action equals results. And then we close the mindset part of this with be times do equals have. Who do you need to be? Mindset is a critical piece of the formula for business success. Then we shared two models, if you will, with you. One, 6 steps to a profitable business that works without me. 6 steps to a profitable business that works without me. Then, then we took one of those steps, marketing, and delved deep into 5 ways to grow your business dramatically in short order. The reason we shared and went into depth on those 5 ways is because you guys didn't sign up to be status quo, sign up for this course to keep my sales status quo. You signed up because you wanted to grow. Excuse me. And we want you to grow. Excuse me. And we want you to grow. So growing is all about changing, and you don't have to, have 18 different strategies within the 5 ways. Identify 2 and go make them happen and have a 10% impact on one of those 5 ways. You'll have a 10% impact on your business. We showed you if you have a 10% impact on all 5 of them, you'll have a 61% impact on your profit. Just do one, but make it happen. And, I'll close with this before I open it up to you guys if you have any questions. But would you rather do 20 things 20% of the way, or would you rather do 2 or 3 things that can have the most impact to your business 100% of the way and go have that impact on your business? The answer is clear. Now what you need is someone to help go along that path with you and someone to help hold you accountable in the right way. Okay? This is not about selling, because you have to determine if this is for you or not to take it beyond this. But I would tell you, if you want to change, you've got to decide and surround yourself by the people that are going to help push you to motivate you to change. Okay. Gonzalo, did you have any closing words?
I do, but not so much for me. Before we open it to them for questions, I believe Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina,
had
thanks.
something to share with us too.
Yeah, hey guys. Real quick, so we finished the class. Today is the week 4, and what Kyron and I are looking to do is potentially this Thursday, if you guys are interested, we'd like to do an in-person meet and greet at a local restaurant here in Cincinnati from maybe 7 to 9. Mike and G will probably be there as well, but I want to get a feel for how you guys feel about that with COVID, and if it's something you guys would like to do, and then we can just spend some time together chatting with each other about the class. We can learn more about your businesses and so forth. So how do you guys feel about that?
I'm okay with it. I don't have any COVID issues at all.
I'm good too, but I always just like to check just to make sure.
Yeah, and look at it as another opportunity for doing some networking too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd love to meet you guys in person.
Yeah,
Okay.
you guys have spent 4 hours of your lives together. Why not?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
There
So
could
what
be
we'll do
folks
is,
who are hesitant. We understand that.
right, absolutely. And please don't feel pressure at all. Don't feel any pressure. But what we'll do is then we'll go ahead and send out kind of the address and the time, and so that way everybody knows where to go. But we'll be there this Thursday, and hopefully we'll see you guys there.
Deal.
Okay, G, Kyron, anything in wrap up?
The only thing is, I'll send you guys all a quick thank you for your time, and I will send you a survey link so that you can help us make this better. We're going to be doing this for throughout the rest of the year, and Would love to know how you guys felt about it. So I'll send you a quick survey. Shouldn't take you more than a minute of your time, but would totally love your participation in that.
At
Well,
that point, sorry, Mike.
Go ahead, G.
At that point, Karen, if you, on the line right now, if you know someone that this could benefit also, please send it our way. We start the next one next week.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so Mike.
Yeah,
back
we'll
to
be
you.
doing this monthly, monthly on Tuesdays at this time. So really excited. You guys have been the first group. Really appreciate your interaction, and that's the way to make this worthwhile. Gonzalo and I will be, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to my voice. Gonzalo and I can follow up with you. We can hang on the line if there's questions. Otherwise, he and or I will be in touch with you to see where you're at and to see what those 3 key takeaways are that you're going to take and make happen in your business. So any questions from the team? Anything that you want to get out there for the group? Anybody, the floor is yours. Okay, since everyone is silent, we'll put a wrap on it. Again, a minute or 2 late. We tried to get that. I guess I talked too much. I'm sorry. But again, thank you for the most valuable